Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. Today I've got a very interesting question on some interview advice from one of the listeners out there in the YouTube or the podcast world. So if you're listening, this is going to be an awesome question and answer session. So before we get into that, just want to let you guys know, I have revamped the resume review program. We have new offerings, and we've even added another one with a LinkedIn page review. Now, as you guys know, LinkedIn is incredibly powerful for getting a job in the clinical research industry. You connect with recruiters time after time, and they send you in-mail all the time, letting them know which jobs they're recruiting for. So you can refer a friend and potentially make some extra money, or you can look for jobs for yourself that way too. So I am offering that as another service that we do offer here with Elite Clinical Research Group. So if you're interested, email eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. Of course, that's in the description on both the YouTube channel and the podcast. So let's go ahead and get into this question. Good afternoon, ECRG. I wanted to reach out to you for some advice on a job interview. A little bit about myself. I'm a master's graduate from India. I have 2 years of experience working for a CRO in India. So for those that are new, CRO stands for Contract Research Organization. And these are the people that hire monitors, project managers, etc. All the positions that you guys are interested in, these companies hire them. And also, I just want to interject a little bit here too. A lot of people from India have been asking about how to get jobs, how to get experience, etc. So here's one person who works for a CRO emailing from India. And I've told you guys again and again, there are plenty of jobs in India in the clinical research space. You just got to know where to find them. Indeed is a good place to start. So plenty of the big name CROs are there in India. So just wanted to throw that out there. So she said, I have 2 years of experience working for a CRO in India 8 years back. So that was 8 years ago she has CRO experience. So imagine what India is like now when it comes to clinical research. I do not have experience in monitoring or coordinating yet. I have worked in bioanalytics, where we analyze the clinical samples for research subjects and interpret the results. I live in the States right now. I have a job interview tomorrow at a local CRO for a research coordinator position. Even though I don't have the experience, I do have a pretty good knowledge about clinical trials and GCP. But I kind of have some difficulty preparing myself for the interview. It would be great if you could give some advice. Thank you in advance. So this is a great question. And I wanted to throw that bit out there about India because I get a lot of questions from India talking about there's no opportunities and should I move to here? Should I move there? Guys, you can stay right there in India and have a good clinical research career and get some experience first because that's really what you need. And once you get some experience, then you can move to the States or Canada or UK. That's going to be much more beneficial to you than if you just move without any experience. So she's got an interview. Look at here. That proves my point. Exactly. She's got an interview with the CRO. So she wants to know how can she prepare for the interview. So this is an entry-level position, pretty much, research coordinator. And they're going to basically be asking you about... They're not going to ask you any tricky questions. They're not going to ask you, describe line 10 of GCP. They're not going to ask you any technical questions really at all. They're probably going to ask you about your prior work experience in any field, not just clinical research. But you do have clinical research experience, so they're definitely going to ask about that. But also for those people that do not have clinical research experience, they're just going to ask about your past job experience in general. So they're asked about that. They're going to ask behavioral style questions, which a lot of people have trouble with. And I kept getting emails over and over again about how to answer behavioral style interview questions. So I actually made a playlist on this channel. It's called Interview Prep or something like that, or how to prepare for interviews. And I've done a series of videos on how to prepare for interviews in the clinical research space. And you can check out that playlist. It's right there on this channel. If you click on playlists, it'll be there. But for those that want more hands-on, grilling, you will be over-prepared for the interview when I'm done with you. That interview will be so easy when I'm done with you. I do offer interview prep, one-on-one sessions, 30 minutes, an hour up to an hour and a half. So there is that too. You can email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com there. But people typically have a big issue with behavioral style interview questions, and that's what clinical research there's a lot of. So what I would do is try and prepare some scenarios in your head about past experience. Time you did a good job, times that you experienced conflict, times you worked with someone who, micromanaged you, times you worked with someone who didn't really manage you at all, and if you got your work done. Times that you messed up and had to apologize, different scenarios like that. You want to think about those in your head before the interview. And you definitely want to be able to speak to those when you are interviewing, in fact. So that's what I would recommend. As far as other preparation, make sure you review your resume. Make sure you have a couple resumes with you bring with you, just in case the people that you're interviewing with do not have a copy on them. And then, of course, at the end, you want to prepare thank you notes. So my rule of thumb is if you're applying within the company, you can send a mail. You can do a handwritten note, or if you happen to know the address, if it's a small company and it'll be easy to get to them, you can do a handwritten note also. But most common is email, and it can be difficult getting people's emails sometimes too. So I talk about that in my interview prep one-on-one sessions, how you get people's emails without particularly asking them or without coming off as weird for wanting that information. But that's my recommendations for you. They shouldn't be asking any tricky questions or anything like that. You should be able to get in there and nail the interview, especially with your past experience. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions that you want answered, email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. Take care.